The report by the Senate committee investigating Brazil's response to the COVID-19 pandemic calls for indictments against President Jair Bolsonaro and 65 other government officials, allies and supporters of the Brazilian leader, including 3 of his sons. Bolsonaro himself is being accused of 9 separate crimes, including charlatanism, malfeasance and crimes against humanity. Even more serious charges of homicide and genocide were reportedly considered up until the last minute, but in the end left out.
Após 6 meses de intensos trabalhos,
after 6 months of intense work, this pandemic Senate probe has gathered evidence that shows clearly that the federal government was negligent and chose to act in a non-technical manner in dealing with the novel coronavirus pandemic.
Much of what was revealed in the Senate probe was already public knowledge, but the level of detail brought to light sent shockwaves through the country.
This commission comproved the sensation that all infectious disease practitioners had, that we have authorities that were not dealing seriously with the COVID-19 epidemic. The most impressive for me was the machine behind the prescription of unethical and inefficient medication.
Bolsonaro himself dismissed the findings while attending a public event on Wednesday.
Tomaram o tempo de nosso ministro da Saúde.
The probe wasted the time of our health ministers, of civil servants and businessmen, and produced nothing but hatred and grudge among some of us. But we know we are guilty of nothing.
The report also accuses the government of working to disseminate fake news about the pandemic, opposing social distancing measures and the use of masks, delaying the acquisition of vaccines, and deliberately allowing the virus to spread to achieve the so-called herd immunity by natural means, all against scientific evidence and the advice of experts. The full Senate committee is set to vote on the final report next week. If approved, it will be sent to the Attorney General in the case of the President, who can decide whether to proceed with actual indictments. But the political damage to Bolsonaro's government may already be done.
The government had every day bad news about it in what regards the pandemics that came from the Commission. And certainly it will affect not only Bolsonaro's administration, but also Bolsonaro's attempt to be re-elected in 2022.
In a criminal court, the charges against Bolsonaro could carry combined sentences of up to 40 years in prison. In Congress, they could serve as grounds for impeachment. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, São Paulo.